you go API of these classes, they provide many documents. Each of them has a different usage, different parameters. And for this formatter class, for instance, again, it has different parameters, different constructors with different parameters. So let's try to run it. I'll again go back to my code then because of this. Let me write it here. So one is formatter class. We can say that, okay, new formatter. Then this is the constructor. For the constructor one, well, as in the class says, there are multiple ways to do it. Well, you can give the function name, the file name as a string, and then it will open this file. Again, I don't want to forget to close it, so that's why I will do this first. Well, and then what you can do is, by using this object f.format, then you can write the string that you want to put in this class. So what you can do is any string if you want to have it, or maybe you have some variables, and then you can also put them in this way. If you remember, this is system out printf format, so in which you create a string here, and then you want to put the values of some variables, and then you put, let's say I want to put this variable, so since it's an integer, I put this ratio sign and a d to say that this is an integer. Or if I have a string, then I can say ratio sign s, and then I can here put, maybe I have a string variable here. Then I can also put here this name, so that it will put this message, which will be 5 a space Mujahid and then the new line character. When I run this code, what we will get is, it's already finished, as you can see here. And when I open this document, yeah, it is here, this ABC5 Mujahid. So this, I'm able to now write the document. With these libraries that writes to some file, you really need to be cautious when you are using it. Why? Well, the thing is, if I have this code, I open it and I close it, what will happen to this output.txt? Its content is this. Yes, when I run this code, I will just open it and then I will just close it. That's it, as I did here. Let me put here a message to show that my program is finished, to better understand. So I'll just open it and I'm just closing it, and then the content of the document is erased. So you, even though, let's say that you have a file that has gigabytes of content, it's so easy to delete it. It's not asking you, do you want to delete it? Do you want to remove it? Are you sure? So there's no this kind of a step. So you can easily give damage to your files when you are using this kind of code. So you need to be really careful about it. And well, there are also some other ways to create this formatter class. Like maybe you can also create a file object using the file name and then give it as a parameter to the formatter. Then the rest is same. You can again just give whatever you want and then print it. So this is just another function. So we can run it and then the content will be now ABC. And in some cases you might say, okay, I don't want to delete my data. I just want to append some more data. So I want to keep the existing data, but I will just add more. So for that one, we need to use the file writer option in our constructor. Okay. It gives me this error because now I got this error. The reason is that it's not about the parameter or so, it's about the try and catch. this function forces me to extend and add one more catch clause. So I will do this. So this file not found exception is not enough for it. So I should also add this IO exception. So if I do it again, it will just delete the data. So it will not append it. If I just run it again, it's finished. I'll just open it again. So the data is gone. If you want to append it, what I need to do is I have to put one Boolean parameter here and then say that, okay, this is false. False order, I'll just check it. And then let's run this f.format again with some dummy string. I think false was not then. And then I will run it multiple times. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then let's look at the code. It's just once. So false means do not append. But if you make it true, then it means, okay, now and then I'll just run it again once, twice, and 3 times, and then 4 times, and then I'll check my document. I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and the existing one 5th. So it is append. So if you want, so in short, if you want to append, yeah, you need this. You need to use this file writer option, and then in that one you have to give the second parameter as a Boolean variable true, which means that do you want to append? Yes, I want to append some data, so that you will not lose the existing data. You will just add more data to your file.
Okay, so true means we will append extra data. So how is false different than just without false or true?
It doesn't have any difference. Yeah. So if you so by default this is false. By default the value of appending is false. So by setting this, I can make it true. But if I don't set it, it is still false. So that will not change it. So I want to go back to the slide also to check if we miss anything, but it just provides one more example. So let's go over this code. So what is it doing? Well, we have this formatter out1, we have this scanner KB, and then we say the system.in, which means that we want to read from the keyboard. And then we open this out file, my out file.txt. So we create a file to open it. Of course, there is this commented option is just another version. Like you can either create a file object and create it, or you can just give the string. And then we have some message to the user. And then in a while loop, we ask user to provide the data. And if you're done with it, they need to hit Control+C. So we get the data by using next line. We keep it in string, and then we write this string to our file by using this formatter object. And then if it is not null, why do we say it? Because maybe we failed to open it. Because of that, we are saying, okay, then we need to close it. This is one way. And then again, if you want to append it, this is just as one more example. So when you want to append it, or what we can do is we can use this file writer object in which we put our class name, and then we want to append, and then we use this file writer instance, give it as a parameter to our formatter object, so that this out1 will now append the data. So this is just one example that I have done. But then this is exactly the same code, but this time it will not remove the existing data, but it will just append this text. Any question about this formatter class? All right, then let's go on with the buffer reader and print writer. Well, this is again input-output operations does not. It's just about how using existing libraries. So for the buffer reader, let me in the slides there's some examples, but I would like to first provide it through Eclipse. Again, I'll just delete this part. So buffer reader is just another library that allows you to read from a file. You might say that, okay, why shouldn't I use scanner, but why should I use buffer reader? Well, they just have different functions that provides. So based on your needs, and I will give an example for that. And they have all different ways of using different parameters. Like for the buffered reader, you need to create a file reader instance in which then you need to give in that one you have to give your class name. And then in the buffered reader, every operation should be handled in a try-catch block. So even opening and all the other operations. And again, I don't want to forget that I will close it, so I'm writing it here also. I'm getting an error here. The reason is that the Eclipse didn't immediately put the catch clause that is needed for this close function. So I just need to add one more catch clause for this close function. So you wouldn't get this error, for instance, for the scanner. The reason is that close function of scanner does not require it, but buffered reader requires that. So again, this is the challenge. Like all functions have different requirements, different things. So this is one challenge of working with the I/O operations. So probably what you will do is you will pick one library, learn it very well, and then probably you will use it in all places. Like if you are familiar with buffered reader, then go with buffered reader. If you are familiar with scanner, then go with scanner. But buffered reader has some other. I would just change my file. Okay. Some different functions. Like it doesn't have this. Give me the next int. Give me the next word. It doesn't have it. It has this function which is read function. I will just print it. Yeah. If you just say bf.read, it reads only one character. So when I run this code, I want you to tell me what it means. It says 97, but my file is A. What is 97?
ASCII.
Yes, so this read function returns it as an integer. So if you want to make it as an character, then you need to cast it to the character. So when you run it, now we will get this lowercase a. So it also provides this read line function. Let's say that we have multiple lines in our file, and then we want to read it line by line. How can I do it? Well, buffered reader has this read line function also, which gives me the line itself. In scanner, what we were doing is we were checking has next. Is there any string more to read? But buffered reader does not have it. So then how can I know that I reach the end of the file? Well, when we reach end of the file, this readline function gives me a null value. So I will use this to do that, to check if I reach to the end of the file. So I will say, okay, I will first try to read the one line, and then in a while loop, I will check, okay, is this line null or not? Okay, if it is not null, then it means that I have some more lines to read. So then I can print it, let's say. Then I need to also read the next line, until I'm not able to read anymore, until it becomes null. So when I do it, I'll just save it. And then when I run this code, now this is the output. As you can see, the content of my file as also same here. So to read a file line by line, you can use this code. And I'll give you one example. This code is very static. There's nothing fancy about it. You just need to memorize. Okay, buffered reader, it needs file reader, it has this, and you have to put in try catch, this read line. In many cases, you just want to know, okay, I just need to read line by line, that's it. So many times what we do is you just Google it, find that line, copy paste it, and then modify it based on your program. This is what we usually do. And I'll tell you to study for the final exams. Well, I was also doing this because of that. It took so many time for me to memorize how to read line by line, because whenever I needed, I just Google, copy paste, update the variable names, and then I was proceeding that. So if you to study the quiz and the final exam, just the final exam, try to write it without looking at it. Try to write it on a paper, and then write just how to read line by line using a scanner, using the buffered reader. Once you did 2 or 3 times, then I believe that you'll not be able to, you'll not struggle to do that anymore. And buffered reader has also another function that scanner doesn't have, which is the skip function. So not line, this is BF. So it skips, you can skip letters that as much as you want. Let's say that I want to skip the first letter, then I want to print the next one. So I will just print this read. I need to convert it to char, of course. Then I can skip one more, and then I will read one more. So when I want to look at this code, but to easily understand it, I will change the content of my file. Okay, let's say that this is my file. So when I run this code, what will happen is it will print 2 and 4. What is happening here is when I go back to my code data, so I skip the first one, read the second one. I skip one more, and then read the fourth one. So for the skip function, you can give any number, so that I just want to skip 3 letters or so on. So what you should get is, well, I don't think that memorizing these functions so very useful in terms of like return on investment. You can memorize it. It has benefits so that you can much easier to use it. But still, it's so easy to check all the time like what this buffered reader classes provides. And also in the final exam, I will also provide like here are the functions that you can use. So the main talent is not to memorize which functions you have, but the main talent is actually how to use these functions for a given problem. So again, you can memorize it, but again, I'll just provide a cheat sheet in the class. So when you are studying this topic, don't try to memorize the function names and their parameters, but try to use them in a given problem. Any questions so far?
Can we
Sure.
use skip to skip a line?
There is no skip line function, but skip line is, from a Java perspective, it's just a new line character. It's just another character. So if you skip more, at some point it will skip the new line character, so it will go to the next line.